already know the truth is pity. Cause you ain't never talking loud and you know plenty. You know what I'm talking about, cause you just get me. Yeah, you so pretty. If everything is...
Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by today's title, I am making a part 2 of why I hated my hometown. So before I get into this video, I just want to give out a little disclaimer because we had a couple of issues with my first video. I just want to say that I actually had the guts to make the video. It took a lot out of me to make the video to begin with. It was not easy for me. And I did get a little bit of hate for it. I get more hate for this one, but honestly, this is my experience. This is the things that I went through on my own, and also the things that I've seen through my perspective. I had to disclaim and put that out there before we get into today's video. Without further ado, let's jump in. The first thing that I want to get into and that I did not mention is the black girls. Okay, the black girls in the school were so mean. Now, I'm not saying every black girl was mean, because not all of you guys were mean. Trust me, because I'm friends with you guys. I have nothing but love for you guys, with all seriousness. But majority of you in that big ass group were mean as fuck. And you were bullies at that. Y'all were well known just because y'all played in sports, or I don't really know. I guess I don't really know why y'all were well known. I don't really give a fuck, but I just know majority of you guys were well known because you guys played in sports, but you were complete assholes. Yeah. And it gave off fake energy whenever you guys would talk to me. And that's, I mean, everybody is gonna have their own way with people and how they talk to people, but I just know that majority of people gave off fake energy, and I just don't like that at all. And the crazy thing about it is that y'all are not friends till this day. And this is what I was saying in my previous video, if you guys have not watched, but I give tips to freshmen, these upcoming high schoolers, that you're not going to walk out with that big friend group or that one friend or whoever it is, unless you guys are like locked in, you know. But if not, you most definitely won't be walking across that stage together in good relations. And majority of them didn't, and I didn't know that until I left my freshman year and I started attending school to where I am right now. But you guys were mean as fuck for no reason, and I don't know what it is, but I can make a separate video on this. But why are black girls so mean to each other? It's more like we should be together, we should be working together, and you know, why are we always against each other? I don't like that at all, not one bit. It's more like we need to stick together, literally. And I'm saying that just because, like, it's not even just because of this, but just in general and overall, we need to be sticking together. But the fact that we are in a fucking racist small town is not making it any better. Another thing that I want to add as to why I hated my hometown so much is because the education system was horrible. And when I mean horrible, I mean horrible. They made it seem like they gave a fuck about our education, but let's be real. The education system in general and overall is fucked up, okay? I graduated in 2022, and I honestly felt like I learned nothing in school. The basic stuff about math and language and reading, of course, you know, I learned something with that, but some of that stuff we did not need. But in Dodge County, they do not give a fuck about your education. Several people missed several days of school, fucked up some grades, okay? And I mean, like, had horrible bad grades and still was promoted to the next grade. Like, shouldn't he be like held back? You know, I believe they did have summer school. I don't know too much about it because I never been held back in Dodge County. But I just know that a lot of kids slid with it. They they let it slide. I originally started going to Bleckley County schools through pre-K all the way to third grade year, and my third grade year I moved to Dodge County, and I could just tell like these teachers do not give a fuck about your education. Say it's probably certain ones they would care about, and I mean like the advanced or accelerated students, but honestly it doesn't matter. They just didn't care. And I could just tell that when I first attended my freshman year of high school, a lot of teachers just let us cheat and just get away with getting good grades just like that. It was super easy. I didn't have to worry about studying for a test. I got it. Everybody's cheating. Nobody gives a fuck. I'm pretty sure that's not the only school out there that doesn't give a fuck about children's education nowadays. Is the dress code. Now, I know a lot of schools have different dress codes and violations or whatever, but Dodge County went a little overboard with the dress code. And I felt like it's stupid. I don't agree with any dress code by any school. It's understandable if you got uniforms. I don't really care too much about that. I feel like that kind of solves the problem with letting kids come to school every day in a uniform, instead of sending kids home because they violated dress code, or giving them ISS or detention because they broke dress code. And I will just say that girls, we have it a whole lot worse because in Dodge County, we had more dress code rules to follow by than the guys. The guys were just simple, easy. It wasn't a whole lot, but they did have some dress code rules that they had to go by. And I will just say I hated the dress code just because it affected me very badly, especially when I was in elementary and in middle school, attending Dodge County schools. It got to the point in middle school they started doing this rule. I don't know if they still do it now in 2024, but when I was attending my 8th grade year, they were saying that if you violate the dress code, you would have to wear a lab coat for the rest of the day. And I just think that that's a little overboard. But I know that when I was violating the dress code in elementary, they would give me a t-shirt or something else to wear, or I would have to be sent home, or my mom would have to bring me something from home to wear. I just think that and on top of that, being a big girl and wearing things that it's like, you know, it's a little it's a little, you know, hard. So going back to school shopping was like always so hard, and having the anxiety on the first day, like, oh my god, am I wearing the right thing? Because are they gonna say something about what I'm wearing, and is this like inappropriate? It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't inappropriate at all. It was just me being very over exaggerant and worried of getting in trouble. I will say I remember, I think the beginning of my 6th grade year, I remember crying in the office because I broke and violated dress code, and they let me go with it, you know, and everything. And so yeah, I mean, all you gotta do is just cry and get yourself out of the situation and we're good. They kind of let it get a little better in high school when I was attending. I don't know if they changed any rules, because you know how they like to change things in the handbook. That dress code was a no for me. Horrible. Number one thing that really shocked me is finding out more information about Dodge County that I did not know of until I started attending school where I am at. There was a teacher that worked there at Dodge County, and she started going to teach at a school that I actually moved to throughout my sophomore and senior year, but I had her as my teacher my senior year. And I will just say that I love her so much. She's the best thing ever. I will not mention her in this video due to what I'm about to tell you guys about what she told me and the entire class. But Dodge County does not give a fuck about Black boys graduating and getting the education they need. So this kind of follows along with what I was saying earlier about the education system in Dodge County is fucked because they don't give a fuck about our education. They let a lot of things slide. They worry more about discipline and how we should act in school than grades and the desirable numbers when it comes on paper, if you get what I mean. But my teacher told me that Dodge County do things in order for certain black boys to not graduate. So it's this thing called DAC. Think of it as ISS, but it's like another school that you have to go to serve your time. Or think of it as a prison, but a prison for bad kids that will never do right in school. And no, it's not like what is it, like a, no, it's not an actual prison. Okay, they can go home and stuff. They get in fights or they're just not doing right in school, they get sent there for a certain amount of time and then they'll eventually be able to come back to school. But majority of those staff administrators know what they're doing to those certain students of color. And I wouldn't say just black boys, but I would say black girls too. But she was mainly saying that she was most definitely on their asses for them to not graduate because of their behavior, or they just did not see it in them of graduating. And you know how easily bad troublemakers aren't able to graduate because they're always getting into trouble, and when they have somebody telling them, showing them that, hey, you're not going to be able to graduate, or proving it to them, or making them feel like they can, it can get to a child's head and they'll feel like, oh yeah, I'm not going to be able to graduate because of this, you know, because, oh, she said so. But in reality, they can. It's just you got to get your shit together and stop acting immature and childish and just do your work. But hey, not everybody's going to do that. But, you know, in Dodge County schools, that is one of the main things that they were doing. And honestly, I believe it because it does involve racism, and it's a lot. And it's not surprising to me just because of the racism there in the small town itself. So I'm not shocked at all, not one bit. It's sad that it's like that, but there's nothing that I could do or really anyone could do because there's racist people everywhere. I think that we just need to make our voices more heard, and that's what I'm doing in this video. I'm making my voice be heard by somebody. I don't care if it's one person, or really honestly, I can't even say no one because someone needs to hear me. And if that one person's hearing me, thank you. I value you so much, you just don't know. That's all for today's video. Thank you guys for watching and giving me so much love and support on my channel. It means a lot. Thank you so much. Without further ado, please subscribe, like, comment, and please hit that bell to be notified whenever I upload. But I will say that this video was, by all means, not to offend anyone. As you should have listened to my disclaimer in the beginning of the video. I hope everyone has a wonderful, blessed day. Mwah.